All right, here's the thing. So many parents come to us and say, my child doesn't really use words yet, and I just don't know how to help them. And that can feel so overwhelming, right? Like you want them to be able to tell you what they need or what they're feeling, but the words just aren't there yet.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, Sarah, I've felt that panic as a parent before. Like when your kid can't tell you if they're hungry or tired or, I don't know, if they just want juice instead of water. It makes everything harder. And sometimes people think communication only means talking, but there are so many other ways kids can communicate.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today on the StarRise ABA podcast by StarRise ABA. We're talking about how ABA supports children who are nonverbal or who maybe have very few words by building real communication skills. And we'll break it down into things parents can try at home too.
Before we really jump in, quick reminder, this podcast is for educational purposes only and not a substitute for professional advice.
And today's podcast is brought to you by StarRise ABA, providing personalized in-home ABA therapy, parent support, and school consultation for families across North Carolina. Learn more at starriseaba.com.
All right, let's get into it. So picture this. Your child wants a snack, but instead of saying it, they scream or throw the empty cup or just melt down. That's not them being difficult. It's frustration because they know what they want, but they don't yet know how to tell you in a way that works.
Right. And that's where ABA can really help by teaching kids other ways to communicate, even if they aren't using words yet. And that can be a total game changer, not just for the child, but for the whole family dynamic.
So, Sarah, when we say communication, we don't just mean talking, right? Like, I remember learning that kids can use pointing or pictures or even sign language.
Exactly. Communication is any way your child can get their message across. Some kids start with pointing or handing you an item. Some pick up basic signs like more or all done. And some learn to use pictures where you hand you a card with a snack on it to say, hey, I want this. All of those count as communication, and they're so powerful.
I love that because it takes the pressure off. Parents sometimes feel like if my child's not talking, they're not learning. But what you're saying is if they can show you what they need, that's a huge step forward.
Totally. And in ABA, we build on those little steps. We teach a child that instead of screaming, they can point to the fridge or bring you a picture or tap your hand. And every time they do that, you give them what they asked for. That way, the child learns, when I communicate this way, people understand me. That reduces meltdowns and builds confidence.
Okay, this part is really exciting to me. I've seen kids use those speech devices, like an iPad with buttons that talk, and it just opens up a world for them.
Yes, those are called AAC devices, augmentative and alternative communication. And for some children, that becomes their voice. They press the button for juice, and the device says it out loud. And here's the thing, research shows using AAC doesn't stop kids from talking. Actually, it can encourage speech because it gives them a way to practice and feel successful.
Right. And for parents listening, you don't need fancy equipment to get started. You can begin today with two simple things. First, model communication. That means if your child reaches for something, you can hold it up and say, juice, or show them the picture card for juice. Second, celebrate any attempt. If they grunt or sign or point, respond right away. Show them that communication works.
Yes, exactly. Consistency and praise go a long way. Even if it's not perfect, like if they hand you the wrong card, it's okay. The important part is they're trying. Over time, it gets clearer. And parents, remember, you don't need to spend hours a day on this. Just build it into your daily routine. Snack time, playtime, bedtime, those are all natural chances to practice.
And honestly, that makes it less overwhelming. You don't have to turn your living room into a therapy room. You just sneak it into what you're already doing.
Exactly. Small, consistent steps add up. And that's the heart of ABA, meeting kids where they are and helping them build skills that really matter for their life.
So if your child isn't using words yet, don't lose hope. Communication comes in many forms. It might start with a point, a picture, a button, or a sign. But every step is progress. And those small steps can make daily life so much calmer for both you and your child.
Yes. And just remember, you're not alone in this. Families all over North Carolina and beyond are working on the same things. Celebrate the little wins, like your child pointing instead of crying, because those moments matter. They show growth and they build a foundation for more.
Thanks for listening to the StarRise ABA podcast by StarRise ABA. Remember, the information shared here is for educational and informational purposes only. It should not be taken as medical, behavioral, or therapeutic advice for your child. Every child is unique, so please consult with a licensed professional or your healthcare provider for guidance tailored to your family's needs. The views expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not replace individualized care.
And that's all for today. If you found this helpful, keep tuning in. We'll keep sharing simple, doable strategies to make life with your child a little easier and a lot more joyful. We'll see you next time.